All right, welcome to The Explainer. So, pretty much everyone is talking about whether using AI to write is cheating. But what if that's just the wrong question? Today, we're going to dig into a really fascinating idea that AI might actually be the thing that forces us to get way better at spotting what makes a thought truly original in the first place. I mean, you can't go anywhere online without seeing a debate about tools like ChatGPT, right? And it almost always boils down to this one single question. Is it plagiarism? And okay, if it's not technically plagiarism, well, then it's got to be cheating, right? We're just completely stuck in this loop, debating things like disclosure and transparency and all the ethics around it.
But here's the thing. The source we're diving into today poses a huge question. What if we're all asking the wrong question entirely? What if, by getting so hung up on the tool, the AI itself, we're completely missing the whole point? Okay, so let's get into the core idea here. It's all about this concept of the cargo versus the vessel. And this, right here, is where everything changes.
So this metaphor is actually pretty powerful. The vessel, that's the words on the page. It's the syntax, the vocabulary, the style, basically all the stuff copyright law is designed to protect. But the cargo, now that's the good stuff. That's the original idea, the new insight, the actual creative spark. And the whole argument here is that the cargo is where the real human value has always been.
And you know what? This isn't some brand new, out-of-the-blue concept. We actually already think this way in other areas. Just think about patents, for example. A patent doesn't protect one specific drawing of an invention, right? Or the exact wording in the description. Nope. It protects the idea itself, the novel concept at the heart of it all.
So, this whole idea reframes AI. It's not the creator. It's just a really, really sophisticated tool. I love how the source puts it. A secretary who typed up Einstein's equations doesn't get to claim credit for the theory of relativity. And that's the point, right? The AI is just helping us articulate our ideas, not coming up with them.
Okay, that's a pretty compelling framework, but it brings up a huge question, doesn't it? If we're going to start valuing ideas more than the words used to express them, how on earth do you measure something as fuzzy as originality?
Well, let's look at an analogy from a completely different world, sports. In sprinting, they have a hard, data-driven number for a false start. It's 0.100 seconds. Why? Because reacting faster than that is considered literally, physiologically impossible for a human. It's a crystal clear line in the sand, and it doesn't matter what the sprinter was trying to do. And that just perfectly sets up the big question, right? Could we do something similar for ideas? Could we create some kind of measurable threshold that tells us when a truly new idea has shown up, separating it from, just rehashing old stuff? So the first part of this proposed system is something called an originality score. Just imagine an algorithm that could scan a piece of writing and actually quantify how new the core idea is. It would compare it against basically all of human knowledge that exists. It's like a score for pure, raw novelty. But of course, originality isn't the whole story, is it? A brilliant idea that just sits in a drawer and never gets seen doesn't really change anything. So that's where the second piece comes in, the adoption curve. This would measure an idea's actual impact and influence over time. How it gets used, cited, and built on by other people. So when you put these two things together, how does that create a better picture of what's valuable? Well, it's because it recognizes that making progress with ideas is almost never a solo mission. It's more like a team sport. Yeah, see, a system like this would give credit not just to the person who had the first spark, but to all these other super important roles. You've got the synthesizer, the person who can take a complicated idea and explain it so we all get it. Then there's the bridge builder, who connects ideas across totally different fields. And of course, the amplifier, who helps a great idea finally get the attention it deserves. All of these people are absolutely essential. So what you get is this really cool, two-dimensional way of looking at things. It values both that initial flash of novelty and the long-term influence an idea has. I mean, think about it. A truly revolutionary idea might have a super high originality score, but almost no adoption for years, even decades. This kind of system could actually track that and give credit where it's due, even if it's way later. All right, so let's zoom out. What would a future built on this kind of thinking actually look like? A world where we care more about idea rights than we do about copyright? Well, for one thing, all these debates we're having right now about AI disclosure, they'd probably seem totally quaint. Kind of like how people were worried photography would be the end of painting. The whole conversation would shift away from the tool and focus squarely on the quality of the thought. And really, here's the key takeaway. In this future, words are cheap. They're everywhere. They're abundant. But truly original ideas, those are going to be rarer and more valuable than ever. And that puts the focus right back where it should be, on the uniquely human ability to generate new thoughts and figure out how to share them. We could finally really distinguish the thinker from their tools.
Which leaves us with one last, pretty powerful idea to chew on. What if AI isn't the threat to originality we all think it is? What if it's actually the opposite? The catalyst, the one thing that will finally push us to figure out how to properly measure and reward what has always been the most valuable thing of all, a truly original thought.